We had to set the mood right. We had to get the tone together.
Yeah.
We had to manufacture the right energy for what's about to take place right now. Last time this queen came by our show, she dropped so many gems. Heather B, we've been discussing them ever since she left.
Yeah.
And then she made a promise. She said, I'll be back. And ladies and gentlemen, she fulfilled the promise today. To here to talk about her new show on Facebook called Red Table Talk, which just got renewed for 13 more episodes. Please welcome her back to the show, the one and only Jada Pinkett-Smith. Damn, Jada, you ain't got enough money already? Now you got some more episodes? There's never enough.
More eps.
My gosh.
Yes.
Ah, that must be amazing. When did you find out that you got picked up for new episodes?
Yesterday.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
It just happened.
It just happened. So it's really nice. You know, it's been a beautiful partnership with Facebook Watch because, you know, we get to create a community.
Yeah.
You know, we have such a strong Red Table Talk community, and that's what I really envisioned for this particular endeavor. I really wanted to create space where we could come together as and commune. And so I really felt like Facebook was the best place.
Yeah, I was talking to you outside. I really feel like, you know, the best way, you did it the best way it could be done to make people feel so comfortable, to be so transparent in these conversations with you. You kind of put you and your family on a sacrificial block right there.
Yeah. That's true.
You know, because once you open that door for people to be open and emotional, you open it for yourself as well. I said it was brave. You said, why you say that?
Yeah.
You don't see why that's brave?
Well, you know what? When you started to say, well, you sat down with, you know, Cherie, you know, Will's ex-wife in front of a camera. I was like, facts. Okay. You know, I guess for me, because I'm so used to having candid conversations like that, you know, and yeah, it is a camera there, but I guess for me, that's the place I loved. I love to live there. So, you know, I'm just glad to be and have the opportunity to be able to share these conversations, and hopefully people will create their own red tables in their household. Right?
Was there anything, you know, looking back at the previous episodes that you had to approach that kind of might have stunned you for a second before you let it go? Like, oh shit, I'm going here. Was there a moment that you went, wow, I'm free falling now?
You know what? I think once I decided to do the show in general, I was like, okay. I kind of was like, all right,
okay,
here we go. Yeah, so each episode, you kind of, but when you sitting down with Cherie and Gabrielle, those were probably the ones that I was just like, okay, this could go several kinds of ways.
Okay.
You know.
Let's start with Gabrielle then. Why? Like, what was it about you and Gabrielle that made you, you know, not even apprehensive, but think this could go? What was it? Like, what was at the center of you and Gabrielle?
Well, first of all, I hadn't been in communication with Gab, you know, and I was taking a shot at just seeing what I had seen as far as what she was doing out in the world, how she was speaking, and I just had a hunch. I'm like, man, she's grown a lot, I've grown a lot, but you don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know until you sit in front of each other.
What was y'all issue?
We don't know. Yeah. It's just, you know, just some young girl crap. Real talk. Just young girl, you know, so me just wanting to be the flyest in the room. Okay. Gab wanting to be the flyest in the room.
Okay.
And no, I'm not sharing cute. You
You're
know,
not sharing
you know, and that's just as simple and as basic as that. And then you allow other people to get in your ear about petty crap. And then it just got into a whole place where it was just like, all right, well, I'm not dealing with her. And she was like, I'm not dealing with her. And then over the years, as far as how our political views and definitely our views in regards of the women's movement, I just got to see that we really are on par as far as how we look at things. And I'm like, and you just realize, like, you need each other. You ain't got time for all that. And so for me, really for culture, because I feel like a lot of times how women, black women specifically, are depicted as if we can't get along, as if we're not mature enough and don't have enough love in our hearts for each other to work out our issues. And that's not true. We do it every day. Our communities have been held down because of the love that black women have for each other and how we hold each other down in order to raise our children, keep our communities together. And I just wanted to show, like, that is a part of our spirit. That is a part of who we are. It's not something that's new. You know what I'm saying? And so I was like, I'm going to step out on a limb and I'm going to call Gab and see if she wants to do this in front of the camera. And just like I knew, that spirit within us that ultimately is like, yes, we need to come together. So I give her props for doing that.
Jada Pinkett-Smith, man. Red Table Talks. Shit, I feel like I'm in the middle of one right now. Damn. Because I know her and Will work together. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Was it before that or after that when y'all?
After.
After the working together. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Y'all good now?
We are real good.
Yeah.
I mean, super duper good. There's
Okay.
so much love between us.
Y'all follow each other
Yeah.
on social media? And
Well, you know, I don't really know what is happening on my social media.
That's when you know you're good. Yeah. Are you liking any of her pictures?
Yeah, I don't know what's happened. I don't really deal with my Instagram in that way. I just kind of send my stuff and go, hey, can you put this up for me? I don't have control over my Instagram.
That's smart.
Okay.
Yeah, it is for me specifically because, as y'all know, I can have a moment. You know, where I can go off on some things.
Yeah,
so,
we know that.
Yeah, so
Hey,
I just be like, somebody else take control of this so I have a filter.
So Will and the boys aren't, Jaden's been on the show, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Jaden
has
and
been-
Will's coming this next 13.
Oh, okay. So Will's
yeah,
gonna do
Will's
the show?
coming too. Oh, yeah.
What?
Will wanted to do the first 10. I was like, listen, I'm going to get to you.
Let me live.
He was like, how you not going to bring me to the red table? I was like, I'm going to get to you. Just relax.
So wow. So y'all do you know what you're gonna talk to him about yet? Or has it been?
We're probably going to talk about the very unique partnership that we have.
Okay.
Yes!
All right. And then are y'all gonna
It's
confront
unique.
the room? Like y'all been in headlines for breaking up. Y'all broke up 20 times.
You know what? I just like keep it coming. It's like
Right.
it's just. Here's the thing about Will and I. It's like we are family. That's never going down. It's
Okay.
just not
It's not gonna happen.
ever.
Okay.
Yeah, because we are family. Like, take out all that whole marriage relationship crap. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
what Will and I are family. I'm going to hold him down.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. All that relationship and what people think, ideas of a husband and a partner and all that, man, whatever. At the end of the day, that's a man that can rely on me for the rest of his life. Period.
Shit. God damn it.
Respect that.
When he saw you and Sharice, where was he when you and Sharice had to talk? Like, what did
Oh,
he
he
think?
knew. He was so happy.
Was he?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was so happy. He was like, man, this is so awesome, Jada. He's like, you have no idea how powerful that's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
But he was so supportive and happy. I mean, listen, he's been there through the storm. So
Yeah.
it wasn't like there was anything that could happen that, you know, I mean, what was it? It's been plenty of stuff that's gone down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we've gotten past, you know, all the bad stuff, and he was there for all that. He was like, well, nothing could be more worse than that. So, you know, go for it.
What did you have? Did you have to apologize to her for anything in y'all dynamic from the past?
I don't know if I've necessarily have had to apologize, but I definitely recognized that there were times when I was not as considerate of her position, you know, which I talked about at the red table. I mean, for me, I thought that was, you know, when you come into a situation at that particular time and thinking that when two people are deciding to go their separate ways and you're thinking, oh, well, this is done.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and you really feel like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to step in. And the real deal is it's never really done in the sense of like, especially with two people who have created life together. And so I really had to get with that fact and to understand that if I'm going to love Trey, there's an aspect of Cherie that I have to embrace and have to love as well, consider and respect. And she and Will have their own relationship. That, you know, she's gone on vacations with Will without me, with Trey. You know what I mean? Because I feel as though Trey needs to feel that dynamic between his two parents. That's very important, that he can feel that connection and feel, you know, where they do meet, so that he can feel, you know, that parental connection. I think that's important. And so
while you're married with Will, they've been on vacation together.
Yes, they have.
Oh shit!
They actually just came off of one.
Damn, that's some real ass man.
Yeah, they actually just came off of one. She went with him to Jordan. She, Will, and Trey went to Jordan. Where does she go? Well, she went to Jordan and went somewhere else with him. I think Israel.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Trey, the relationship between Willow, Trey, and Jaden, was it ever any? Did they have to go through anything as siblings, being that it's two
definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
Is that gonna come out at the?
I definitely want to do a red table with the kids and Trey specifically on just the dynamic in regards to having my bonus son with my actual biological children, and give them an opportunity to talk about what that dynamic has been for them, and specifically Trey. You know, when he's ready.
When he's ready.
Oh
man, Jada Pinkett-Smith is here, man. Tell you, man, I could never do this talk. The red table talk with Sway. Nah, man, that's just never ever. I'm joking with you. We're gonna open up the phone lines. Congratulations, really powerful show that you're doing right now. I'm a fan. Y'all want to talk with Jada? 888-742-3345. She's an open book now. It's all on the table now.
Oh, crap.
Whatever you want to know.
Oh man.
What you color icon? Hard, son.
Fire.
Jada Pinkett-Smith is here. What you call it icon? You got a favorite Jaden song that you rock to at the house, maybe?
Oh man, what's my favorite? It's a couple of joints that he never released. Yeah, it's a couple of joints that he's never released that I jam to on my phone. You know, when I get the gift of my kids sending me music, I'm like, send me what you were working on in the studio. Nah, Ma, you gotta wait. But sometimes they bless me.
So stingy these kids are.
I'm like, why you gonna tell me I can't listen to what you're doing?
Damn.
But yeah, he's sent me a couple of tracks that didn't make it that I really like, and some earlier stuff that he did. But I really love Icon. I love George Jeff. I love The Passion also.
The Passion is hot.
I remember actually, now that we're speaking about Jaden, he had said how like initially when he was coming out as a rapper, he would hang out with Kanye and Drake and they really embraced him. But then when they saw he was taking this game very seriously, they were like, oh wait, you're just competition. You're another competitor. Is there like a form of ageism? We often hear it with older folks, but is there a form of ageism with welcoming younger rappers? Has he spoken about that?
Yeah, I don't think that he necessarily saw it that way. I think that was misquoted.
Okay.
Yeah, that wasn't that. He actually cleared that up. That was actually a misquote. He wasn't talking about Kanye and he wasn't talking about Drake, because these are actually artists, you know, specifically Drake, that he has looked up to, you know, and so he did clear that up. But I don't know if there's necessarily ageism all the time. I just think that you just got to prove yourself.
Facts.
You got to prove yourself.
Prove yourself.
You know, and so that takes a minute. And unfortunately, with people think that when you come from a family like ours, that you actually have it easier. You actually have it. It's far more difficult because people are already kind of looking at you like, yeah, whatever. You know, it's like, you know, your dad did this, your mom's doing, of course you can, blah, blah, blah. You actually have to prove yourself even more than anybody else.
Yeah.
And so I have seen them have to deal with that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Kind of rolling off of that, because last month was the 25th anniversary of Menace to Society. And I was just wondering, because Tay Diggs yesterday said that he had a moment where somebody went up to him and said, yo, man, you were in all the classic movies. And for a second, he was like, damn, like it's showing his age almost.
Right.
But then he thought about it and he appreciated it. Like, I am a part of some dope classic movies.
Absolutely.
So my question to you is, did you or Will ever have a moment where, because you might not be considered for the son or the daughter anymore, you're now looking at as the parent,
Right.
you know what I mean, or somebody like an older character? Was there ever a moment where it was like, shit, man, now I got to play the older person, or like the...
Not yet. Not yet. I think when I start playing grandmothers, we can revisit that question. But I mean, I am a parent, so playing a parent to me is actually supernatural. But maybe I'll feel that way when I start being asked to play grandmothers. And
Oh,
then-
Jada, you too fine.
Yeah,
That ain't gonna happen.
ain't gonna
No time soon.
Hey,
You
look,
gotta-
I'll be a fine grandmother. I mean,
Okay.
I look at Gammy, my mom. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
your mama's fine too.
Yeah,
You right? Good point
you
about
know,
that.
I'm willing to rock grandma roles like that.
Okay.
One of my favorite moments, speaking about family, when you guys hosted a BET Award show, and I loved all the commercials and everything leading up to it. The kids was on the couch,
Yeah.
y'all was cursing going back and forth. I was like, yes, are y'all ever gonna do that again? Now that like the kids are older, Jaden can perform on the show, Will can perform on like I'm
Right.
just seeing all of this. Willow can perform. Like, have y'all even thought about that again?
Well, Will always does.
Really?
Will does all the time. He's always trying to think of ways to get the family to do all kinds of things. But, you know, it's just really trying to wrangle us all together.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
and Willow is our rebel. You know, she's the one like, I'm not doing that. And then it just blows all the plans out the water.
Sound like Willow, right?
And we go, Willow, we can't do it without you. And she's like, well, I guess she's not doing it. It's like, all right, I guess, Will, we just have to wait.
Damn, y'all were fire doing that.
Yeah.
I loved
you.
it.
This is
Jada-
Mike Muse right here, Jay.
Hey, Jada.
Hey.
Good to see you again.
Nice to see you.
I love this conversation. We're talking right now about family and the family business. And what I've been having a lot of conversations with my friends is the whole idea of black nepotism. And so we've been talking about nepotism in our community is something that we don't really feel comfortable with. We feel like
right.
as first generation college students, first generational wealth, we have to do it on our own. You know,
Right.
nobody, and then we instill that in our kids. You have to do it too. But some of us are having this conversation. No, we want to bring our own with us. We want to give them a head start. So with you,
Absolutely.
with Willow and Jaden and Trey, is this notion of how are you and Will Smith balancing this notion of nepotism versus feeling comfortable with bringing them along and pushing them forward as well?
Yeah, it's a balance because you have to put your kids in a position where they understand what's true and what's real. Right. And they have to know that what hard work looks like, and they have to be able to work hard. Right. So you can't give too much. So what you do instead of giving, create access.
Got
Right,
it. Yes.
right,
Now
right.
we talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
That's pretty
create
good.
access. And
Yeah.
so that's what we've done.
Yeah.
You know, in a way, it's like, oh, you want to do that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, Jaden, you're going to have to get your skills together. And then we'll see if we can open the door for you. And then you got to take it from there. You're gonna have to hold your own from there. Because what we can't do for you is keep you afloat. And so with Willow, Jaden, and Trey, all three of them, that's been our strategy technique.
That makes sense.
That
yeah.
sounds good.
Jada Pinkett-Smith is
go.
here
I
on
like that.
Red Table Talk. Just renewed for 13 new episodes. You can find it on Facebook. Watch. We got a lot of callers real quick, so we're going to go to Ty from Denver. Go ahead, Ty.
Ty, what's
Hi.
popping?
Hi, Jada.
Hey.
Hey, I have a question. I just watched your episode about are you comfortable with having talks about sex with your children? And on that episode, you were talking about how your grandmother told you that it's okay to still pleasure yourself so that you can know what it feels like. When I did it, sorry, I felt like it was wrong. Like I was always told that it was evil, that you shouldn't do that, like
Right.
all that. How did you become comfortable with it?
You know, I think because my grandmother, what she taught my mother about sex, she realized that wasn't very helpful for. any of her daughters really. And I think as time went on, she was able to have more comfort with sexuality. So then I was able to have more comfort with sexuality, and just knowing that sexuality is just natural. It's a beautiful aspect of who we are naturally, is just learning how to be with it with respect and integrity, and so that's really the balance that I had to create for myself, is to understand my sexual power, but also to through a lot of trials and errors, figure out that space of integrity and responsibility in regards to sex, because it is a extremely powerful energy. It is extremely powerful. And I think that's the reason why we kind of shy away from it a lot. And there's a lot of power within female sexuality, which is why most of the time it's considered wrong, evil, and not right. Stay away, because it is extremely powerful. So it's really just getting to know yourself in that power, gaining that responsibility in that power, and your integrity.
Ty, thanks for your question. You said when Trey first had sex, you could look at him and tell.
Yeah, him and Jaden. Jaden specifically. The night Jaden lost his virginity, I knew.
How?
Wow.
Come on now, y'all know how it goes.
I mean,
you get
I mean,
a whole
did you
new swag. You know what I'm saying? He walking in the house with his chest puffed. I'm like, where you been at?
Right. What time
What you
was it?
been doing? And he just confessed. He's like, oh, and he told me straight up. But I knew already, and my little boy was gone. He walked in as a young man. He walked in the house as a young man, and as a mother, you just know.
How old
know.
was he when that happened? You remember?
How old was he? I don't remember. I'm not going to give you that tea.
Yeah, okay.
I'll let Jaden tell you that
Hey, I respect it. Okay. You saw I tried to slip that in, and but you could tell. You can tell. Huh?
I could tell. Definitely.
Wow. Okay. We're gonna take one or two more calls. Tina's on the line from Atlanta. Go ahead, Tina.
Hi, Tina.
Hey, hi guys. Hey, Jada.
Hey.
I just wanted to say that something that you said really resonated with me about how, you're going to be down for Will, like no matter what. He doesn't even have to worry about that for the rest of his life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I really understand, where you're coming from with that. But, somebody had to ask, when there is like a small indiscretion, how do you guys get past that?
When there's a what?
A small indiscretion?
Yeah.
There's like an indiscretion on, whoever's part,
Uh-huh. Yeah, you come across lots of different kinds of indiscretions in all kinds of relationships. And let me tell you something. The one thing that I've learned, as much as we wish our partners could be perfect, as much as we wish that they never hurt us, as much as we wish that they came into relationships with no flaws and had everything figured out, we don't. And inevitably, all kinds of things, whether it's, kind of understanding trust, or understanding, figuring out, are you a person that can hold down monogamy? Are you a polyamorous individual? Whatever the hell, right? Relationships really are about self-discovery, believe it or not. That's what I found for me, that being in a relationship really teaches me more about myself than anything, and how I have to be more for myself. And being able, as I become more for myself, I can look at my partner and go, I can see what his flaws are. I can see where his hurts and his traumas are, and how sometimes people's actions reflect hurts and traumas. And there's no way to get into a relationship with somebody that you're not going to come up against those hurts and traumas. Now, the difference is, do you have somebody that's willing to work through their hurts and traumas?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? In order to get on the other side, so that they can curb behavior that might be hurtful, but the real deal is that I've learned how to love in my life unconditionally as I've learned how to love myself unconditionally, you know. And when Will and I come to the red table to really talk about what our journey has been and whatever our experience has been, I would say to individuals, do not try this at home. This is not for everyone.
Ooh.
You know, but what I will say to you is that I do think that in relationships we do have to kind of dissolve. You go through a stage of romance, and then you go and you meet the god or the goddess in a person, and then as time goes on, you meet more of the human.
Right.
More than
And
human.
we have to learn how to embrace that human as much as we embrace that God feel, that God or goddess aspect that we see in the person that we love. And that's why I feel like unconditional love is, man, it's a powerful, powerful heart space.
Jada Pinkett-Smith, shit.
I feel like shit about being single right now.
What the hell you doing? But how hard is monogamy in a marriage? I've never been married.
You haven't?
Nah.
Have you been in a relationship with someone that you really loved and you wanted her to be your one and only?
Yeah.
So you can answer that question. How hard was it?
It's difficult.
There you go. It's difficult.
Yeah.
But we're going to talk about that, you know, and I definitely think that there are all kinds of shapes that relationships can have. And I think people have to just be honest about where they sit. And I think that, you know, people look at relationships as being very cookie cut.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's a problem. That's a big problem. And I really feel as though there are so many different kinds of relationships that are happening in the world that we're not talking about enough, that I've explored completely. Well, I won't say completely, but
Yeah.
I'll say a lot. And it's very interesting what's happening in the world right now, and all the various kinds of relationships that are going down between people.
So I'm gonna wait till that red table talk.
You should.
Okay, and then when that one happened, can you come back and we could talk about it?
Absolutely.
That's your word.
That's my word.
Can you bring Will with you?
Now that
That's
I
okay.
can't,
Okay, I'll
yeah.
try it again.
Now that I can't promise.
Okay, cool.
You're asking too much.
I know. Yeah, you gotta ask. Closed mouths never get fed.
Hey.
Okay. You have a beautiful family.
Thank
You're a
you.
beautiful person. Love your spirit, Jada.
Yes.
Thank you for being transparent and honest with us today. Continued success. We're in your corner.
Thank you.
All
I
right. So I'll see
appreciate
you after that talk, though.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right, cool. We got, make sure Red Table Talk, Facebook Watch. Make sure you check it out. Jada Pinkett-Smith, they got more episodes to come.
Yep.
Up next, we got Snow the Product. You want to speak with her? 888-742-3345.